Hello. Some years ago, I did a video called, can't remember how many questions it was, but I sort of made a sort of things about me. And some years later, I decided might as well do another one. So here's the sequel to that video. I can't really remember the title of it now, but yeah, here's 20 more facts about me. So, Assistant Oliver, you can't see him, but he is right beside me, and he will ask me some questions, so go right ahead.
What is the significance of the Red Cliffs logo?
Well, the new Red Cliffs logo, which is a target, which is blue on the outside, white in the middle, and red in the center, is a symbol that was used by the Royal Air Force during World War I. Basically, what it was that it was supposed to be like a Union Jack, just like simplified into a circle that just an easy symbol that was easy to put on airplanes. And I decided it was just a very simple and minimalist way to sort of communicate, to sort of give the Red Cliffs an aesthetic and a sort of symbol to remember them by.
What is your zodiac?
I'm a Taurus, I think it's called. People born in late April and early May.
What is your favorite song?
Ooh, that's an easy enough question to answer. I'd probably say Canon in D major. It's a classical song, and despite being 400 years old, it's probably still one of my all-time favorites of all time. I remember when I first heard it when I was 10, 11-ish. I was playing Forza Horizon 4, and I was just like, oh my god, that's the nicest song ever, and, well, you know, I have some ideas behind it, but I feel like I had a dream where I was in heaven, I was in love, everything was going right in my life, and the song was playing in the background, so, yeah, that's my favorite song. Yeah, it's my favorite song. I mean, there's many songs I like, but that's probably my all-time favorite song forevermore.
It's not Black Sabbath. How dare you?
I like Black Sabbath, but it's not my favorite song though. It's not.
How dare you? What has music done for your mental health?
Now, music has done sort of good and bad things for. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Sometimes, okay, I'm gonna get very personal for a second, but sometimes I can get pretty down about myself and life sometimes, and sometimes I was looking for like ways to sort of make myself feel better, and one of the most obvious ways is my music, but frankly it's always very hard to sort of build your esteem with art because, well, you don't really have tangible reasons to prove that it's good. I mean, you can have people tell you it's good, but, well, you can't read minds, so you can't tell whether they're telling the truth or whether they're just being nice. And art isn't like sports where you can measure how good a guy is based off of how many goals they scored or whatever. With art, it's subjective, and even within sort of being good at something in art there's a debate on how important that is, such as what is a good musician? A guy who writes the best songs, or the guy who can move his fingers faster than the speed of light? So, yeah, that's the difficult thing about music, is that really you don't really have sort of like solid evidence that you're doing good. I mean, you could look at sort of numbers and sort of album sales and whatever, but generally speaking, that has less to do with how good the art is. I mean, I'm not saying all mainstream music is bad. I mean, it's popular for a reason. It's good that people like it, but then again, there's a lot of good art that people don't know about, and indeed, there's a lot of okay or even bad art that gets popular, so, about quality, popularity might also not be the best, because hypothetically, if my music was very good, I'm not the most popular guy in the world, so I wouldn't know, but yeah, it's a bit of a heavy question. I apologize about that, but yeah, that's sort of my story with that.
What is your vocal range?
Okay, get ready for this. This is roughly my lowest note. And my highest note, roughly, is... Okay, sorry about that. So, my full range is... Yeah.
I'm deaf now.
How are you deaf by that?
Why do you hate your last name so much?
Well, the story with my last name is that it was my dad's stepdad's last name, so it doesn't really say all that much about my heritage. And okay, no offense to, but I'm not sure if this is good or bad, but I cringe a bit every time I see my full name on something. I don't know. I just wish my last name said a bit more about my heritage, and I don't know. I never really liked that very much. I don't know. It's more just a subjective thing, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, my name is. I'm apparently an olive tree that's related to a 16th century king. So that.
Aren't we all?
Oh no. What is your favorite color?
Ugh, that's pretty simple. I have a few favorite colors. I like red. My guitar was red for some time, and I also like black, which is what my guitar is now.
What's the story on how you started making music?
Okay, so this is a bit of a funny story, but it dates back to elementary school, where I was sort of just minding my own business, working on a project, and somebody was like, "Hey, you look like somebody who could be a singer. Can you sing me something?" And then they were like, you should consider giving music a try. And I was like, maybe I should. So from that moment on, I made music, and I've had ups and downs, but here I am today.
I've been there since maybe day 3.
Yeah, basically. I mean, my music when you met me was still at its infancy, so...
Basically. And how tall are you?
How tall am I? If you want to know, I am roughly 5'8"
I'm still taller.
Yeah, you're 5'9" roughly, so,
What kind of video games do you play?
What kind of video games do I play? So basically, the games I play I play a lot of Enlisted. Well, I mean, I sort of have on and offs with different games, so I might not be playing it a ton in the moment, but I still play it generally on and off. I play Enlisted. It's a pretty underrated World War II shooter. I play Fortnite.
You used to play Fortnite.
I mean, I still do sometimes. I play Minecraft.
Sometimes.
Yes, I play Minecraft. I play The Sims. I play Battlefield 1. What?
Forza.
Yeah, I also play Forza as well. I mean, probably much more, but that's all I can name off the top of my head right now.
You write stories. Can you explain about what they are about?
I'm writing a few stories actually. So I write a few stories. I currently sort of working on 2 right now. One is sort of, it's more just like short stories, but it's sort of like detective stories of these 2 characters, of this brother and sister named Harry and Holly Webb, who, they solve murders and stuff. And then there's also this, novel I'm writing about some lore in my cinematic universe, the KCU. Yeah, who knew that I would have my own cinematic universe, but yeah, I do, which basically all the books and movies and stuff I do is all interconnected in that, so,
How many hats do you have? Probably 20,000 because Amazon keeps ringing the doorbell every 10 seconds.
Well, I'll have to get them. 1 sec. Okay, right in front of me, I have roughly 7 hats, if I counted correctly, so let me just... Here's a police hat. I bought it for a Halloween costume once. Yeah, it's a police hat. Here's a sort of like World War I era British service cap. I mean, it was really just a sailor hat that I spray painted yellow, which I kind of feel bad about, as this is like a vintage Soviet kid's sailor costume hat, but whatever. Here is my fedora. I don't really wear it that much, as I sort of outgrew it, so, Here's my tricorn. I don't really, I'm not sure if it really works still, but here's my sailor hat. I used to wear it a lot, but I kind of retired it because I mean, I don't have any issue with people calling me captain, but I felt a little bit disingenuous that I didn't have the crew seniority to officially call myself captain. Here's my pickle hobble. World War One German. Well, I mean World War One and before German-Prussian helmet, and of course, Assistant Oliver was trying to wear. Oliver was trying to wear all the hats at once, and then it all fell. And of course, here's my signature kepi, and I'll still just go. Well, okay, I'll wear the kepi for the rest of the. So so the story behind the kepi is that it's it's a French origin in design, though many countries used it, and I basically wanted a distinct, cool hat that was sort of historical and was unique but still practical. So that's why I have a kepi.
How many countries have you been to?
How many countries have I been to? Let me count. I was born and spent a lot of the early years of my life in Thailand. I lived in South Korea for some time. I went to China once. I live in Canada.
You've been to Japan?
Yes, I've been to Japan, and I've been to Taiwan, so...
USA?
USA, so that'll be 7. So that'll be Thailand, South Korea, China, Canada, Japan, USA, and Taiwan. So that's 7.
I think I've also been to 7, but I don't know if overseas and crown dependencies are included.
They're not.
Okay, well there you go. I've been to a few overseas territories and crown dependencies, but only been to 4 or 5 actual countries. So I've been to the Isle of Man. That doesn't count. And apparently the next question is, any countries you would like to go?
Ooh. Now, I know I've already been to Japan, but I'd like to go again because I feel like I didn't see enough. 2, I would also like to go to Ireland a lot. I actually did a school project about planning a vacation to Ireland, so,
And there, it's very worth it.
Where?
Ireland.
Which part?
Northern.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
It's still Ireland.
I'm specifically talking about the Republic, the tricolor, green, white, orange.
I went to Dublin for like 1 day when I was younger.
Yeah, sure, that counts. Yeah. Seems very cool, and it seems also pretty good for somebody who doesn't travel all that much because they speak English, and, I'd also like to go to Sweden also. I've become a bit of a Swedophile as of recent, but, I just listened to a lot of Sabaton, and they have given me a good impression of Sweden, so I'd like to see it. I don't know what else. That's it for now. But I'd like traveling. That's all that's on the list. But if anyone gave me an offer to go to any country, I'd probably take it because the more you explore, the more you. If I could step my foot in from 1 inch and then run away immediately, then yes, I would probably take it.
Yep, I'd love to go to Mauritania.
Interesting.
Not that anyone knows where that is.
It's in Africa. It's in North Africa. It's in Northwest Africa.
Okay, apparently next, what's your favorite drink? It has to be Iron Brew.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Thank God. Okay. For your city, Osborne Ham, what are your big inspirations for it?
For Osborne Ham, Now, the city was established in my British era, but now I am in my Swedish era, so Osborne Ham, my main city inspirations for it is a tie between Stockholm and St. Petersburg, mostly in the architecture, which you haven't seen Osborne Ham in a while. I should really make a new video about it, but sort of architecture as well as the sort of canals and that sort of infrastructure, and yeah, basically just Northern Europe, generally speaking, is what I take my design inspiration from, and even the countryside is a fjord with pine trees and stuff, so...
And you also tease Churchill.
What?
You could also tease Churchill.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
at my side.
yeah, that's the capital of his own country by cinematic universe, Oliver Land. So,
What is the story about your guitar apart from us trying to call FedEx and getting?
hey, you're
charged
spoiling the
Americans?
story.
What?
Yeah, I'll get to that. So here's my guitar. I'm not sure if this is new to you, but here it is. So the story behind it is that, well, I wanted a Telecaster. I mean, this all started because I wanted to be like Tony Iommi, and I mean, you might be thinking, my old guitar is an SG. Tony Iommi uses an SG. Why not you just continue using your SG? Well, here's the thing. I didn't really like how it sounded, and for the early Sabbath albums, Tony Iommi used an SG with single coil P90s, and a P90 guitar was too expensive, and P90 pickups are too expensive, so I was like, I'd buy a Telecaster instead. But here's the thing. I was listening to Telecaster artists just to get some influence, and I discovered Waylon Jennings, and that significantly shook up how I make music.
You should still go to back to metal albums.
No, well, I'll get back to we'll get to that later.
Get back. Explain the.
Hey, I'm not finished yet.
You stopped speaking.
Yes, but I was sort of taking a break.
A break.
So basically the story is that, it's a funny story, is that for some reason FedEx could not deliver to my apartment, so I had to call them on his phone. Originally we called American FedEx and we got a bunch of international charges, but then we called Canadian FedEx and then we sorted everything out. Fast forward to social studies in last year in grade 9, and I got a phone call from them, and then I just darted out in the middle of class. But it seems like my socials teacher at the time didn't really care that much, as I didn't get in much trouble for it. So
my phone also rang.
Yeah, so I called it, and then I wrote down where to pick it up. I picked it up after school. I struggled to lug it back home because the box is very awkward, but inside was this. Now, it's had a few upgrades. It has a real Fender bridge. I mean, it had all gold pickups until the end broke, so now it has mismatched pickups. I mean, why am I saying pickups? Tuners! Tuners! Don't quote... Those are tuners. Anyway, I mean, I also tried to replace the pickups, but, they broke. I accidentally broke them, so, Anyway, so yeah, that's the story of my guitar. It's been through a couple of paint jobs. I mean, it was basically all white at the start, and then it was red for a time, and now it is Waylon Jennings tribute sort of design.
Explain the evolution of your music style.
Okay, so, at the very beginning, the Beatles was kind of all I really listened to at the beginning, so I was basically just trying to be a knockoff of the Beatles at the start. Specifically, the Beatles. Yeah, the Beatles, sort of early days.
You said the Beatles.
I did not. I said, well, if I did, I meant the Beatles. Moving forward a bit, I started listening to a bunch of sort of Britpop. What I mean by that is sort of like Oasis music. And basically, I heard that they liked the Beatles too, and so I wanted to take some cues from them, and despite being influenced by the Beatles a lot, they sound nothing like them, but even still, for a time, I took a lot of inspiration. That's basically all my very first and second album was sort of Beatles and Oasis knockoff, but,
I tried to let you do Limp Bizkit, but you didn't like that.
Yes, I don't like them, and then there was also... Shut up. Anyway, there's also, that was also by, Rock Phase and Red Cliffs 1, I think it was called, or what. Basically, now, it produced some pretty good songs, but otherwise I am not, how should I put this, I don't know, it's mostly just a phase, honestly. I mean, I listen to a lot of rock and metal music, but I absolutely suck at making it, so I decided that was not for me, and going forward, I went through a few other phases. I listened to a lot of sort of Motown What else?
The chords.
I listened to one song by them.
You play like 20,000 times.
And then I also then became the really big moment for my music side, which is I started listening to country music as well as rockabilly and rock and roll, and from the 50s, and here we are with my whole. Sorry if that sounded a bit janky. I don't have a pick. I was just playing with my fingernail, but yeah, that's sort of the evolution of my music style. If I had to really try to describe it.
What is your favorite historical era? It better be World War One and Two.
I mean, I like that, but I mean, I like it to study. A lot of bad stuff happened during that. But my all-time favorite era, I mean, well, my favorite historical era is probably either the late 19th century or like the sort of early 1700s where we had the Great Northern War and Peter the Great. I don't know, that's a pretty fascinating historical period for me. And then furthermore, at least for music, my favorite era of music is the 50s, but you know, I listen to music from all eras, so, but that's sort of the music that I like the most and the music that I emulate in my own style.
Okay. When you meet someone for the first time, what was the first thing you noticed? 1G.
I'm not sure why who put 1G there, but, okay. This is the last question, so this is the bigger one, but when I meet someone for the first time, the first thing I notice, or the first thing that I try to notice or try to find out is their eye color. I don't know why, but, you know, yes, I don't know. It's basically just, there's so many people who I've misidentified their eye color in the past. It's kind of stupid, but, you know, there's like many people who I thought were one thing, but were not. I mean, for a while I used to think Tony Iommi had brown eyes because, well, he was always just standing in the shadows, and he always wears those like glasses in his old age now. But it turns out, to my disappointment, well, I'm not sure why I was disappointed by this, but I found out the other day that he indeed has blue eyes. So yeah, that's the strange thing with me, is that ever since that moment, that the first thing I try to do when I meet someone new is to identify their eye color. You know, I mean, there's many people I thought had brown eyes before, but it turns out they have like hazel or green or even blue eyes, so yeah, yes, that's the first thing that comes to mind, is what is your eye color for me? That's the first thing I notice when I see someone new for the very first time. So yeah, that concludes the second part of the facts about me. Yes.
One thing you also may have noticed that I've also not been around very much.
Yes.
I've been gone.
I am very sorry about that.
I've been gone for the most part, but that is because I'm very proud to announce that I'm a transit owner. I own
Yeah, he owns a bus. He co-owns a bus.
Yeah, I own a retired 1998 New Flyer D40LF. It's taken so much time to get back road legal and everything, but it's officially running. It's been really hard working, and my grades have absolutely suffered from it, but it's officially on the road. I thank Connor for all the support he gave me during that time, and that's it. Over to you.
Anyway, thanks for watching if you made it this far, and I hope you learned a few things about me. I mean, this isn't a formal Q&A, as I'm not sure if anybody was asking any of the... I'm not sure if anybody was asking any of these questions, but, but hey, I hope you learned something about me, and I'll see you next time.